Yo. It's Terrell, Hall of Fame, D-Line, TBKC, and all that other good, sweet, beautiful, wonderful shit. Check it out, man. Get a lot of questions about different things, and this was a pretty good question. Um, it's basically about the UKC accepting the exotics. First of all, the UKC does not accept exotics. And it was basically put as a UKC versus ABKC thing. Why do I get on the ABKC for doing it and not talk about the UKC? Which was a good question, for what it was. Now, this is what I will tell you about this scenario, is that the UKC is a much larger registry than the ABKC. The UKC, just like when we were registering dogs as pit bulls 15, 20 years ago, whenever it was, they really had no clue of what we were registering. You have to think, I don't know their exact numbers, but they have far more than just the American Bully, of course, and they have far more than just the pit bull. And they have all these other breeds. And even with those particular breeds, they're very well entrenched in those breeds. So they're getting thousands and thousands of paperwork monthly just for one breed, not to mention all of the other breeds that they have to deal with. They are an all-breed registry. So what's happening is that it would be almost ridiculous to ask them to go and research every single paperwork. If they did that, the cost of paperwork would probably be $150 per paperwork, just for the time and resources that you would need to research every single dog. Because even, I know some of you got the answers for everything, so you say, well, make them send a picture in. Yeah, that's a good idea, but people lie about pictures too, so they'll send in the wrong picture of a dog. And considering that the paperwork does not have pictures of the dogs on there, it would be pretty ineffective. It would just be something that they had in their office of a picture of a dog that looks like a pit bull, and it's really, a French bulldog looking dog or something like that. And this was sort of the reason why they started to come down on the American Bully community, because as they found out about certain dogs and about certain people doing things with certain dogs, they started to crack down, and they took it serious. And some of us accepted it for what it was, and others played victim and tried to act like that they were doing something wrong, but they were actually doing the right thing and protecting their breed. Now, I say that to say this: the difference with the ABKC is quite simply, they know what they're doing. The ABKC knows exactly what they're doing. This is not something that they're doing in the dark. It's not something that, oh, we don't know. Now, don't get me wrong. Some dogs might get sent in paperwork and they don't know, and that's not the ones we talk about. But when you have certain dogs that are obviously not what they say they are, you're accepting Chinese paperwork now. You're accepting, whatever to get the dog in. It's like, okay, the dog doesn't look the part. The dog doesn't fit the part. The dog's competing in exotic shows. The dog's competing in this and that and the other. And you're going to accept it regardless because the dog is popular. And the reason why, and it's definitely nothing against my good people in China, I got a couple friends over there when I said the Chinese paperwork. But why I find that so asinine is you won't accept registries that are here that you can see that operate on the same level as you. You call them competing registries, but at the same time you'll accept paperwork from a foreign country that you don't know anything about what they're doing at all, period. It's because of who the dog was, and that's one situation. Then we have other situations where you have dogs where they can visibly see that these dogs are screwed up, and they'll change the rules to allow those dogs to come in, instead of just excluding them away. We have a nationals champion who has an exotic grandmother, and this is why I say it's a huge difference. And I could keep on going on and on about all of the things that the ABKC does, but it's obvious when you have one entity that's doing something and they may be getting beat. They're pretty much getting beat because people are not being honest and sending in the wrong paperwork or sliding stuff by that they know doesn't fit the standard. That's one thing, because they're very busy and it's hard for them to keep track of everything. But if they do see it, I have no doubt that the UKC will pull papers. I've seen them ban popular American bully breeders like Ed Shepherd was banned. Dax was banned by the UKC. They don't have a problem turning that buck away and saying, no, we won't deal with you. It's just a matter of them catching it. Whereas the ABKC, it's right in front of their face. They have very well a lot of knowledge about the situation. And what they tend to do is not only do they, not drop the hammer on these people, but they'll start changing and manipulating the rules and promoting the things that are bad for the breed. This is the two big differences in why. I have said some things about the UKC before that I didn't like, and the truth of the matter with the UKC is I think that they are a respectable registry. The one thing I never liked about the UKC, and I try to keep it fair across the board, is the one thing that I butted heads with them. I'm not gonna say I don't like them, but it's when they started doing the American Bully. They basically disrespected our standard, and they were allowing everything in. They were, and it was like, okay, you didn't create this dog, you didn't have to say so over this dog. So they sort of disrespected us by saying you can bring in whatever, mix in whatever, it's all good. And that was the one thing. Other than that, I think the things that they have done in general have been the right way to go about things to protect all of the breeds that they have under their umbrella. And they've kicked people out, and they've done a lot of things to do what to do what they're supposed to do to protect the breed. And with that being said, the flip side of the coin is that the ABKC has never done anything to protect the breed. Case in point, and I'll do this to finish the video to make it a lot more clear. Yes, the American bully community was pretty much banished from the UKC for a while. Then they decided to accept the American bully. There was never anything, and to my knowledge, let me say that, I know a certain somebody tried to make it seem as if it was something racial and cultural and all these things. And the weirdest part about it is the person who was making these accusations for his own benefit was pretty much, a white guy that, from the country. So he tried to make it seem like, oh, they don't like our people. And we're like, what the hell who is your people? So that was just like propaganda. And then, they just protected their breed. They got rid of us because we weren't doing what we were supposed to do to have American Pit Bull Terrier on our paperwork. And that, and that's the way you're supposed to do things. Now, with the ABKC, what we've seen is that you got dogs like Dax that didn't fit anything of what the ABKC said, and they changed the rules and made a class for him to fit and called him an American bully. There are certain patterns, there are certain issues with the dogs that we put in bold print, like this cannot be, and they've allowed it. We've got, champions with kink tails, and we've got dogs that are obviously Frenchies. Y'all have heard me say this a million times. Miyagi and Bullseye were banned for good reason. Miyagi, especially with us knowing that, his owner was shipping out fake semen. The dog had died several times, and they were putting in imposter dogs. And then you go from the fact that you know that this dog in his line has a lot of French Bulldog and a lot of miniature bulldog. His owner admitted that he was doing these things, but then you turn around and you allow it into the breed. See, that's where all respect is lost, because the UKC would never do anything like that. If the UKC found out that you were cheating on that level, they're not going to change their rules to accept it in. They're going to protect their breed and keep that dog banned and really dig in deeper and find other dogs to ban that are similar to him. And that's the difference in integrity as far as the two registries go. And this is why I don't, to answer the question of Mr. John Wilkes, this is why I don't go into beating up on the UKC, because I understand the volume that they deal with. And anytime you deal with that type of volume, people can sneak stuff by you. But I don't, at not even the tiniest bit do I believe that it's intentional. Because I've seen the way they respond once they see that something is wrong. They will give you a very, 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 very hard time, and they will get rid of your ass. Whereas, like I say, the flip side, the ABKC promotes that kind of behavior, and it's very detrimental to our breeds. It's very detrimental to our community. So, that is the overwhelming difference. That is the difference as to why I never talk about the UKC versus the ABKC. And hopefully that answers some of your questions. Until next time, man, it's time for me to go run in this heat Y'all see I'm sweated up. I'm trying to get drop dead gorgeous for this summer. I might be on quarantine, but I'm going to be drop dead gorgeous in the quarantine. Until next time, much love, y'all. Peace.